Hi everyone, thank you for listening to my rumbles. Today it's mainly about rumbles, a little bit less of reps, more about life, intertwined with fitness, and especially directed to women of a certain age, like me. I feel, well, I know, and we see it more and more out there. We're very lucky to have this information nowadays that wasn't there in the past, about how important it is to train and to stay fit as we age, how because it really has a lot of benefits for our health and our longevity. And I agree. I mean, the science has proven it, and I preach it every day to my clients and through my socials and through my all my means of communication. As we age, we tend to think it's once we turn 40, but in reality, is once we turn 30, 35 tops. We need to start doing strength training if it's something we've never done before. And if we have been doing it, then we need to continue it and be very much on top of that. Any form of strength training will do, but weights are especially important, or weights are especially effective when it comes to helping us develop muscle mass that will then protect our bones, protect our joints from breaking, and thus give us a better chance at aging more gracefully in a way, right? We know that muscle will, like I said, protect those joints. So we have a lower possibility of breaking a bone if we ever fall or we have something of an accident. Plus, the movements that we do when we're doing the weight training will help us even stretch those muscles and stay more mobile or move at certain ranges, have the ranges of motions that we need to perform daily tasks, like reaching up to a tall shelf with our arms straight up, or picking up the trash from the floor, which is sort of a squat position, even like if we have kids playing or picking up those kids, right? Like, or grandkids. Really, what we can do through strength training is extremely beneficial to our life long term. We can even help the sort of regrowth of our bones, so they're not so brittle, strengthen them so they are not so brittle in older age. And it does give us a big boost of confidence and energy that we need to deal with our everyday lives and our everyday sort of chaos as women, all the things we deal with on a daily basis. But lately I've been seeing that there is a tendency to go hard or go home again, like there used to be in the past with cardio, but now it is with weights. Like if we don't do extremely hard training, extremely challenging training, or we lift extremely heavy weights, it will not be effective. And in real life, that's not the case. What this literature shows and proves, and what I've also seen with my clients and with myself, is that what we need to do is work hard in our own levels. What for me means working hard may mean maybe a different thing for you. So, for example, for me, if I have to do a squat, I can do it maybe with 30 or 40 kilos, and that'll be hard for me. If I do 10, it's too easy. But maybe for someone else as a beginner, 10 kilos is more than plenty for them to be hard. What I mean is, we don't need to believe everything we see or we hear, and what matters is to work hard, but in our own levels. So if you want to do this right in a way, and if you want to get most of the benefits of strength training, then yes, work hard. But what works hard mean is very much subjective. And the one thing you can use to understand what hard it is for you is to keep checking in with yourself. How hard does a set feel for you in a certain weight? Like, for example, if you do bicep curls with 2 kilos and you can do 20 in a set, then maybe that is too easy. But if you can only do 3 or 4, maybe that's too hard. So we want to find a level that is very close to our maximum effort, but where we still have some energy left to go on with our days. So what I usually say to my clients, and I want to share this with you too, is when you choose what weights and what number of repetitions you do, there's a standard. You usually do 3 to 4 rounds, 8 to 15 repetitions per set. And you want to work those sets hard so that you grow that muscle. But hard may mean 2 kilos for you, 10 kilos for me. That's what it means. It doesn't mean maximal weight. Hard means that if you're choosing to do 8 repetitions, then by number 6, you need to start feeling it. You need to start feeling some sort of challenge. But you can do 8, and possibly you can do 9 or 10, but you're keeping that 9 and that 10 in reserve in your tank to recover and to do a second and a third and a fourth set at the same level of effort. If you can do 8, if you're doing 8 and maybe 8 feels like your last breath, then maybe that's a bit too hard, because the next round is going to be more challenging and the next one after that more and more and more. So as you add up the load, right? So ideally, if you choose to do 8, let's find a weight that will allow you to do those 8, but leave you maybe 1 at least in the tank, so that when you recover after your break, and do take that break, please. When you recover after that break, then you feel like you can actually smash that second set and the third and the fourth, right? That's what working hard means in reality. It's not lifting the heaviest weight you can necessarily. Sometimes it can be, but some other times is getting to that point where you're close to failing, but you're not failing. You still have a little bit left in the tank, and you can use that energy for your other sets. And with this in mind, where I want to get, and I had to explain this so you can see where I'm coming from, not every day is equal to the previous one or to the next one. Not every week is the same. Not every month is the same. Especially as women, we fluctuate a lot emotionally and hormonally, and that's just part of our lives, right? So when we think of working hard, if that's, let's say last week I was able to do a squat with 20 kilos and I was able to do 3 sets of 10, fine, and leave a little bit in reserve, that was like my close to failure effort. But today I'm feeling particularly tired. I didn't sleep well. I woke up 3 times to go pee. I'm very perimenopausal and it's showing more this week than any other weeks, or maybe I'm about to get my period, so I'm more tired than normal. So maybe this week when I tackle those squats with those 20 kilos, doing 10 feels like a lot, feels like way too much. So you can allow yourself to go a bit lower. And it doesn't mean you have to reduce the weight. You can choose to reduce the reps, or you keep the reps, but you reduce the weights, right? So for example, I can choose to keep my 20 kilos, but maybe 8 repetitions every set means that I'm getting very, very, very close to failure. So I'm going to stop here this week, right? Or I choose to go to 15 kilos instead of 20, and I can do my 10 repetitions normally, and that's my maximum level of effort for this week. What I mean, again, what I'm trying to get to is stay flexible, right? Unless you are like preparing for a competition, like an actual powerlifting, weightlifting competition, or you're bodybuilding professionally, or you're actually training for a sport that has a goal, a competition date, a thing you have to achieve that way, then you can push yourself more. But otherwise, it's nice to push ourselves, but it's also very, very important to hear what our bodies have to say to us. And it is okay. It is okay to go a little bit lighter on a session, even if for the past month you've been smashing it with your heavy weights. Maybe today you feel like crap. Maybe today something awful happened and you're still moving. So you should be proud that you're still doing it. Even if you're doing it a little bit lighter, it's completely fine. You have to give yourself permission to do that. And then as soon as you feel better again, just go back as hard as you were the previous weeks. You'll be able to get there. Your body's already used to it. So you're not losing any progress, right? You're just stepping back a tiny bit for like a week or two, a month or two. It doesn't matter how long you need to step back for. Then as soon as you're ready, get back onto that little bit of a heavier thing, or that little bit of whatever you were before you had to step back. But you don't have to wait for that moment to feel proud and to feel happy about what you're doing. The most important thing is consistency here. And to stay consistent, sometimes we need to take this step back. So again, all I wanted to say in this little rumble was just that. It's important to go heavy. It's important to go to a good level of effort, but that level of effort where we're close to failure, where we're close to our sort of breaking point, it's not always the same. It depends on a lot of circumstances. And I mean, if it's always the same, fantastic, then we can keep going up on weights and things and progressing that way. But real life is not like that. It's just messy, and we get a lot of ups and downs. And it's smart. It will be very smart of us if we can just think of that and adapt to the circumstances. And if we need to step back, step back. And when you can push forwards those weeks when you're feeling amazing, then go for it and push forwards as well. I hope this helps us, again, just from experience in my own life. Like, I'm still going through my treatment for the SIBO and the histamine intolerance. And I have my days when I feel amazing, and I have other days where I don't feel so great. So learning to feel proud of myself for just showing up and doing something, it's really, really, really helpful at this point in my life. And I hope it can help you as well in yours.